Alright, what's going on YouTube? It is Cardboard Chalk with my first video ever on this channel. We're going to be doing a post-August banlist 2024 branded deck profile. So, a couple things. This is my third take on it. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I had some recording problems. I'm hoping this one is the one. Now, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. It is a 45 card main deck. I tried 60. I didn't like it. I've been testing at 45. I like it a lot more. Consistency, it does what it needs to do. No complaints. So we're running 3 Elbaz. It's the heart and soul of the deck. Does everything you want a normal summonable monster to do. It's an excellent board breaker and grave. It adds utility to other cards in the deck. It's just, you really want to play it at 3. I don't agree with the take of bringing it down to 2. I just don't think it does enough at 2. I think you really want it at 3. Running 3 Aluber. Search Branded Fusion. Search Red if you need it. Search Lost. It's a good card. Decent stat line. Graveyard Effect. I'd be forgetting about it sometimes, but it does come up and it will save you in a game. It'll save you from lethal. I would recommend it. At 3, 2 Quem. Quem, one of the best cards in the deck. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, but it is. Foolish Burial is an Elbaz / branded card. Foolish Burial is actually a card that mentions Elbaz, not a monster that mentions Elbaz, which is really good. Great. Special Summoning, you want to play it at 2. You could get away at 1. I just think you need it at 2. And now we're playing 2 Cartesia. I want to up it to 3. It's just, oh man, you don't want to brick on normal summons, and the deck does have a decent amount of normal summons, so I'm gonna keep it at 2. You can special it. Dodges Imperm on your Luber, dodges Veiler, make Ranganol broken to get your gimmick in the grave. You should play at least 2 copies. I want up it to 3. I might test it at 3 again. Playing 2 Albion the Shrouded Dragon. Self-explanatory. It's an upstart goblin that's an Elbaz engrave, which does come up for the Cartesia. Does a lot. We're playing 1 Mercurier. Want to try to get into 2. 1 works for me right now. It's the only negate you run in the deck. You gotta play it. And we're playing 1 Kit. Kit is disgusting. Gets you your banished branded fusion back. Sometimes it's mandatory now. Duplication, banished branded fusion. You need Kit to get branded fusion back. It's a beast to fulfill the summoning conditions of Rindbrum, which is also a broken card. Graveyard Effect to summon Elbaz, the Super Poly, is nuts. Its on field effect to negate is really nuts. So, and it fills the requirements. It's just, I don't think you can side it out now either. I think you have to play it. And then we're playing bestial count of 4, but it's really like 3 because we're playing the 1 Lubellion. Nasty. Gets you a Lost on field that they can't ash, so you're getting your tier Lost, and they never want to see Lost on the field. Yeah. 1 Magmut. Obviously, searches a dragon. Your whole deck's dragon, so it's pretty good. I don't know if there's a different bestial I'd want to run over it, but I do like having the 3 bestial names plus the Lubellion. 2 Sornier. Engine gets branded fusion or retribution, a branded spell engrave. It's just really good. And then we're gonna go to a couple of non-engine. Obviously, the boy Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. When this card hits your opponent's side of the field, it is a nightmare for them. It's insane. It should not be allowed in the game. Branded Fusion paid for Gimmick Puppet sins. But we take it. Thank you, Konami. And then 2 Ash Blossom as the other hand traps in the deck. not much to say. I mean, you want your Branded Fusion to resolve, so you run the Ash for cross-out targets. As you'll see later on, plus drawing Ash doesn't hurt. It's pretty good to draw Ash, so we take those. Now we will move to the spells in the deck. We are running 1 Branded Fusion. Obviously, one of the most broken cards in the game, still legal, which is why they limited it to 1, let's be real, but it's just insane. 3 opening searches, specials Aluber to search Lost or Branded Fusion, or it summons Quem if you already have Branded Fusion, or Aluber in hand. It's sorry. It's also when your opponent goes to when this card is in graveyard and your opponent goes to destroy your fusion monsters on field, it's like Hugin. You don't have to chain it. You just banish it on res, and it'll protect your fusion monsters from getting destroyed by card effects. What's not to love about it? Then we play 1 red, 1 lost. Self-explanatory. There's an argument to play 2 now that fusion's at 1, but I like 1 and 1. Lost, the most broken card in the deck. You can make an uninterruptible gimmick lock. It's just insane. Then we're playing 3 deployment. Deployment summon Elbaz or deployment summon Cartesia. You can't go wrong with either. Not much more to say. Really good card. So it's like you're running 6 copies of Elbaz and 5 copies of Cartesia. Alright, and then we're running, for the rest of the engine, running 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Gold Sark. Normally how you'd want it to work is Gold Sark banishes Mercurier because Mercurier doesn't trigger. But you do Gold Sark banish Mercurier, Mercurier searches you kit, normal or special kit lets you grab back your banished Branded Fusion. That's why you play it. Foolish Burial, everything you can want. Dumps Shroud of Dragon if you need an Elbaz name engrave. Dumps Elbaz if you need an Elbaz name engrave. Dumps Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. Dumps Swornier if you need to get to a branded spell engrave. Dumps Tragedy if you want to get Tragedy effect to add a Despia monster from deck to hand, or dump Tragedy and then you can do Tragedy banish to set the Branded Fusion that got dumped. A lot of reasons to play it, not a lot of reasons not to play it. We're running 3 thrusts, basically more copies of Branded Fusion going second. There isn't a lot of it sets fusion duplication if you're going first. Pretty good card. And then of course you run the 1 of talent. Why wouldn't you want to run a card that says when your opponent ashes your Branded Fusion, either you Pot of Greed, you look in their hand and you take a card and put it back in their deck, or you Change of Heart their card. It's insane. You would want to play it. And then, because we need Branded Fusion to resolve, we're running 1 Called by the Grave. Get rid of that Ash. 3 cross out, which is why you also play 2 Ash, because nothing sucks more than ashing your opponent, or your opponent ashes your Branded Fusion, and you have cross out and Ash in hand, so you play 2 Ash to hopefully get around that. Pretty good card. 3 Book of Eclipse. I'm a firm believer that Book of Eclipse is the best board breaker in the deck right now. You go normal or special Aluber effect to add, the Imperm or Veiler, chain Book of Eclipse to flip it face down. The target misses, and then you can search, and then you can still fuse with the card you flip down, which is insane. I don't know why it works in fusions and nothing else. Play it. 1 duplication. Some people say it is win more. I disagree to an extent. It is win more, but when you can guarantee you get the gimmick clock set up through a fusion duplication, it's worth it. It's worth losing your Branded Fusion to gimmick lock them every turn, and then slow burn them, or they'll just scoop after they get gimmick locked because they know that you're gonna have the follow up and you're just gonna keep gimmick locking, and it wins games quick, which is how I play it. And then 1 Retribution. There's a argument to up it to 2. It's my argument. I've been mentally struggling with if I want 1 or 2, just because you want to keep getting to your branded fusion, but ultimately I landed on 1, and it's been working out for me. I might up it to 2 and test it, but you don't want a brick on it, which is why I haven't yet. And then that goes to the main deck. It is a 45 card main deck. Works pretty well for me. I haven't really had any problems bricking. I enjoy it. I like it. Now we will move to the extra deck. Extra deck, we are playing 2 Albion, the branded dragon. It requires Elbaz plus a light. Heart and soul of the extra deck. You need it. It also, when it goes to grave, the turn it was sent to graveyard, it will search a branded spell or trap and either add it to hand or set it, which is how you do red, which is how you get to the uninterrupted gimmick lock. Lubellion, no graveyard effects. It pitches for cost, which is nice. It requires Elbaz plus a dark. So you pitch Gimmick Puppet or Retribution or Elbaz, or it has, like, its cost isn't as much of a downside as you would think in the deck. And then we're running 2 Mirror Jade. Best boss monster in the game. The non-target banish by sending a card that you would like to have in graveyard to get bonus effects off of, so you don't have to hard make stuff. Really nice. It's graveyard. When it's fusion summoned, its graveyard / face-up banished effect to blow up the field will make your opponent make bad plays to play around it. It's insane. So for other cards that we have for Mirror Jade targets, Rindbrum, you could hard make it. You hard make it. It's really good. It's in graveyard to summon the Elbaz to fuse off their board is really good. It's just, you gotta play it. They're hard making. It's really good too into Snake Eyes when they have Princess Engrave. What you could just do is they activate Princess Engrave. You chain Rindbrum to negate, and then you target another card on their side of the field, and you return it to the deck. It's super good to hard make. You don't hard make it very often, but when you do, it does put in work. Titaniclad, really good to summon the Quem to get your Elbaz Engrave, or just get anything Engrave, or you summon Elbaz if you want to fuse off their board before it hits your turn. No complaints. Albalanetis, I'm not sure how I feel about it right now. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, Tempai's a deck, Dragon Link's a deck. Play around them. You set Elbaz and you contact fuse into this. It's graveyard effect. Pretty good if you like somehow shuffle Branded Fusion back into the deck, and this card hits the graveyard. It lets you search a normal spell or a normal poly or fusion spell, which lets you search for Branded Fusion. Pretty good. And then the card that should be banned but is not banned, and I don't know why, Sanctifier. It's just insane. Even if you couldn't gimmick lock, you would still play it because it's the only card, since Branded doesn't run negates, it is the only card that stops you from getting gimmick locked. Evenly matched, sorry. Only card that stops you from getting evenly matched. You should just be playing it regardless. Even if you don't want to play a gimmick lock deck, you still should just play it. And the card that you almost need for the gimmick lock, too. 2 Gringanol. You could play 1, but you really should play 2. It does a lot. It can tag out into Quem or Quiritis, which is really nice when that comes up. Other than that, it just dumps level 6 or higher Light and Dark, which could be Gimmick Puppet, could be one of the fusion monsters that you want engraved to do other stuff. I recommend 2. Then we play 1 Quiritis. 1 Quiritis, I mean, it wins games. It just wins games, and sometimes you have to fuse into it. I mean, it's great. When it leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, also broken, it lets you summon Elbaz or a Despia. So they do whatever. They get rid of this, however they do it, by card effect, and then it tags out into Elbaz, and then Elbaz to fuse with one of their extra deck monsters, and then you're golden. You're making Mirror Jade, baby. Love it. Then we're running 1 Chimera. and one Borload Furious. You have to play these two. I don't think there's a reason not to play Borload Furious. I know there's not a single reason to not. I know there's not a single reason to not play Guardian Chimera. It's busted. You could possibly run two. You don't run two, but you could. Borload Furious is insane. And now the spicy card for this deck is one. It's one Mysterion the Dragon Crown. So basically, what this does is uses a dragon and a spellcaster monster to make it. Loses 100 attack for each. Has 3,000 attack. Loses 100 attack for each banished card you control. But it's really good because if they, it's like Ring It All. If they summon a monster by a monster effect, this will activate to banish the special summon monster and all monsters on their side of the field that shares a type with it. Which, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the Snake Eye cards share Pyro. So it's spicy. I'm testing it out. It hasn't been done too bad for me. I haven't made it too often, but you could run Drago. It's probably correct to play Drago, but I just like this card. It's fun. And that's all that's all Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about, is having fun. Now, side deck wise, we're running 3 Phantasme. I don't own Mo Charmy, so it's like, why not? It's a you against most decks, you're guaranteed to draw 1, maybe 2 cards, which can fix up your hand. It's a Dark Dragon, so that's a side effect that you love to see. Playing 1 Masquerade for time. Sometimes, like, if I know that if I'm playing against Gimmick Puppet FTK, I'll side it out, because why would you outside this in for a second Granol? So why would you give them a Gimmick Puppet? Let me run 1 Dragon and 1 Feather Duster for a little bit of back row hate. So you can search this off Thrust, this send off Branded Fusion to pop Skill Drain or any other spell trap they have that you don't like. And then a couple of traps if you're going first. Different Dimension Ground. It is just a macro Cosmo for a turn. You should play it if you're going first. I mean, I didn't know what else to put in, so I threw that in there. There can be only 1 Tikaboo. You can play under it pretty well, but it sucks that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to the point where now it's I can play better under this Floodgate than my opponent, so I'm going to play said Floodgate. But that's how the game is now, so that's how you have to play it. I would love to not run it, but Branded can play under it better than Tempai can, for example. So you play it. It's not fun, but that is how the game is played. And then Branded notoriously has the worst matchup into towers like Pearly and Raid Raptor. So you run Herald of the Abyss. What more to say about it? I mean, it outs towers, which is what you need. So you play it. And we run 3 evenly. Oh, it's also searchable from Thrust. So you play 3 evenly. Board breaker. You need board breakers. So you play 3 evenly. One of the best board breakers, Nada, once per turn. So if they negate the first one and you have the second, you activate it. Or 3 Dark Ruler. Really fun play is to go Dark Ruler into evenly. And then you say, GG, let's go next game. Because now I'm going to Gimmick Lock you. I broke your entire board. You have 1 card on field. Now I Gimmick Lock. I did against Pearly one time where I Dark Rulered them. And then they had to let it go through. I evenly matched them. They kept their big X-Pearly Noir. And then I Herald of the Abyss them and got rid of it. I board broke them. And then I set up the Gimmick Lock because I had Branded Fusion in hand. And it's just nasty. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Well, thank you guys for watching. That is my 2024 post-ban list Branded Despia deck list. I appreciate you guys for watching. This is my first video, so the quality is only bound to go up from here. I'm going to start recording. I play Go and I play Advanced every Saturday. So I'm going to start recording my GOAT games and my Advanced games, and I hope you guys hop along for the journey. All right, I'll be recording a second video tonight, and that will be my GOAT deck that I'm going to be playing. So then when I start uploading it, you can immediately go and see what I'm playing and what ratios they are, my thought process into why I'm playing certain stuff. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you, Chuck. All right, have a good one.